Roberta, Chris, Joe, and Costa's on the line. Yeah, you know we're here to blow your mind. Dropping AI theories and tech so brand new. We talk about the future, me and the whole crew. Cracking up and sharing all our crazy views. Heisenberg's got the data, giving all the clues. We talk about the future, me and the whole crew. Cracking up and sharing all our crazy views. Yeah, the future is now. Welcome to the podcast.
Welcome back to the Fourturamas podcast. We are here with Chris, Costas, and Roberto. It has been another amazing, thrilling, fascinating week in tech. Lots of advancements. The one that stood out the most for me personally was Google Gemini doing crazy shit. We also talked about Hermes behind the scenes and Victor, and we seem to be given the boot to OpenClaw. Anybody have any updates on your lives? Anyone want to go first?
And within like
but the question is, are the tools become more simple, or is you that become more skilled to install them?
I think it's a lot simpler to install Hermes, like really like simple. It was very, very easy. But I have anti-gravity like kind of coaching me and actually installing the thing for me. But it was a lot simpler to say, just hook up my API, my OpenAI, GPT 5.5, easy peasy. And there wasn't a lot of like setup and like, when you go into OpenClaw, you got all these options. It's crazy. So the fact that there's less options and it's easier to get going, and then you can always add things afterwards. I think that for me as a vibe coder is good.
Dude, I'd be comparing everything to vibe coding now. It's horrible. Like, it's a joke in my head where I'm like, what's the equivalent? Is this vibe coding to someone else? I think about it all the time. But yeah, Chris, Roberto?
Chris, you're so noisy, you don't let us speak for a moment. It's impossible to say something.
Is it loud? Is it picking up feedback?
No, you're good.
It's funny you being quiet.
We need to give you like an Italian peel or something, so you at least start doing something. It's more like it's like a blue chew or something like, but for like get you to talk more.
Adderall.
Oh, no kidding. So I need like a character. I need a character or a shtick about me.
You cut us off on purpose at certain points, maybe. You just object.
I started doing that, and then Roberto's like, we need less rants. I'm like, well, I'm the only one who really rants here like that. I go off topic like that.
Me too, though. Right. Me too, all the time. Or at least I feel like I do.
I almost feel like I'm glad I didn't even open OpenClaw ever, because a month and a half went by and you guys are suddenly kicking it to the curb. Can you guys provide more context as to why you're leaving OpenClaw?
Yeah, there's like no improvement.
Oh, okay.
I actually are creating my micro clause for the specific needs, because I notice I don't really use the generic one. So I set up a server just to provide data for a particular other website, while I can just get the other website directly doing his own online things with AI. So why have to bother a clause somewhere? So I recreated the micro agent with the specific roles without an OpenClaw, and they work perfectly. They consume much less tokens and do what they need to do perfectly. So this is, I think, OpenClaw is good when you don't have a specific goal. So you have it there in your computer or in a server, and then every day you need to ask something different. Then probably can become more useful for as much as dangerous. But that's the point, because one single agent that does everything doesn't work well. So you need to have your OpenClaw or Hermes, whatever, with the 20 agents, one just to check your email, one just to do this, to that, etc., etc. At the point, you can use vibe coding to create a piece of code that use your API to do the one thing, and you don't need the whole installation of a full system multi-agent.
Dude, one of the things I did yesterday was I grabbed all of my email addresses, like every single one, and then I attached them into the terminal. So all I got to do is type the word search. And then I even attached it to my Evernote. So it goes through all my notes. Cause like years ago, I was sending letters and I would track them like specifically in notes, and I wouldn't have them in the Google Drives. So now I can search like 5 different emails, all the drives, my Evernote, all with one type. It goes through everything. So I was like, why didn't I ever do this a long time ago? It's not even that complicated.
Do you guys have any more concerns about it being having more access to more things, or is this a more convenience?
Convenience, in my opinion.
You talking
Seems a
about
trade-off.
about OpenClaw?
Yeah,
Whatever.
just yeah, like OpenClaw or agents in general. You said that, oh, I would need 5 agents to perform one task. Now I just have one do it.
It's like the analogy of WordPress. Do you need all that just to like have a page? You don't. Like WordPress is like started as a blog, right? But then it morphed into this monster, and everybody uses it for everything. And I've set up like 25 different WordPress sites, but really I just need a page or two. So all that bloat, you don't need, and that's, to me, it seems like OpenClaw is like that. There's a lot of bloat. Like, you don't need all that. You just need something simpler than that.
Yeah, yeah, it's a very good analogy actually, because or you don't know what you need. That's another point. Because if you don't know what you need, then install WordPress pretty much it covers them up in a way or another. If you have a very precise need, maybe it doesn't make sense.
What's funny to me is Roberto, of course, is thinking about like privacy and security, and I'm over here operating on the assumption that we don't have it anyway. Like, so it doesn't even apply to me in that case, where I'm just like, dude, let's just an illusion to think we have anything private,
I would never install it in my own computer, that's for sure. I mean, or in a same computer where I deal with the more important fact, because that's like an open door. But yeah, if when they want to enter your computer, they do anyway, because it's impossible to operate a computer without. It has to be offline and old, and then you probably have a computer that is isolated. But else, if you are a precise target, there is no option to stay safe.
Doesn't it feel a little surreal how fast, like, every fucking week some crazy shit is happening? Like, genuinely, where I feel like I'm beyond living in the future. As you're seeing it, you're just like, no way. How is that even? And then the next week, it's the same shit. How is that? No way.
It's not even-
Constantly that feeling.
It's not even next week. It's like you wake up and it's like, oh, you all you have to do is scroll through YouTube and you see like, oh, update. It's so the way I get through that is like, hey, do I need that thing right now in my life? Like, is that really like?
Really, that's true. It gives you fatigue. It really exhausts your brain. That's why Chris is there, like in love with life
All
and
bliss.
smiling,
He's all
because
bliss.
he keeps
OpenClaw,
himself
what is
safe
that?
from
Oh,
this.
it's here, and I didn't.
He's the
I didn't
perfect
learn.
moderator.
That's interesting. I
fucking
mean, like
awesome.
OpenClaw came out like a few months ago. Like, was it February or something like that? And now it's like, end of May.
But you need to look at OpenClaw like a Bitcoin, like the pioneer of a new space, right? Because OpenClaw didn't do much on itself as an innovative technology, because the concept was there since years ago. But it gave everybody a tool to deploy something. They, gave our chat GPT, our, box that we go to talk to, a life on its own. So the fact that they work without you asking,
So
and that's the magic. OpenClaw is gonna remain forever the one that did it. Then you have Hermes, you have Vic, you have. To be honest, it really takes just a few days of vibe coding to make another clone on OpenClaw. It's not like complex coding. It's very
it was
simple.
six
No,
kind of
but
funny.
that means in terms of popularity of a repo in GitHub, and not
For
in
adoption,
terms of
right?
community. People following and starting the thing.
Damn.
Yeah. I
Me
mean,
is-
Linux is a massive project that has an history that is insane. Cannot compare the two applications in terms of application. Linux, both of them did it just for the glory of their product, which is pretty cool.
For the glory.
But no, this teaches you that the side effect of making money is coming to you anyway, even if you don't want it actually.
So should we jump into the news here? There's some crazy stories.
Yeah.
This one's a little out there. A whistleblower claimed that the CIA used consumer DNA databases like ancestry testing to search for extraterrestrial related genetic patterns. Would you rather investigate the claim or explain to people why their DNA test results might be tied to alien conspiracy theories?
How do they have
conspiracy
alien
theories.
DNA?
So
Where are they getting this DNA from?
wait, my what you're saying is like they're searching to see if there's alien DNA in there.
Yeah. So is it A, conspiracy escalation level extreme, or B, never submit your DNA casually?
Just if you're an alien, though.
What if you crash landed and now you're in the database? Damn.
Wow. Well, first of all, I haven't submitted anything, so I'm good.
The irony is I'm in Ancestry, so that sucks.
No. But here's the thing. Here's a good example of like, hey, there's something that gets touted as like, this is the cool thing. You should do it. It's only $19 or whatever it is. And everyone's like, oh my God, I got to find out. You know, they sort of attach a social kind of like thing to it. Like find out who's your ancestor. And it becomes like a viral like event that everybody's doing, right? And next thing you know, okay, once they collect all the data, now like someone has all the data. Now they can, it's like the thing with the Pokemon thing with the Pokemon Go.
Yeah,
that was like that's amazing.
Actually, it feels a little intrusive because
it's a little.
As they find out more about how to like I don't know sequence or whatever parse the data, there's more information available about you, right? So they keep finding out more about you, and then they charge you money to have access to that. Like, and it's even more annoying because the more accurate it gets, your results change. It's like, bro, I didn't know I was also this, or now I'm more of that in my DNA until 6 months later. More technology advances. It's so confusing.
I mean, now they could, if someone has access to that database, they can create first of all, on the good side, they can create a custom pill to help you heal whatever, right? Or whatever it is. On the other side, they can create a custom thing that only attacks your DNA, so they can go after you specifically based on your DNA.
Bro, suddenly you see advertisement for cure on micro penises target people. Their DNA gave up.
I think the guys.
Insurance is all about like statistics and like they like insurance companies have one of the longest lasting types of businesses that's been around for a long time, so they're doing something right. Like
that's a good question.
If they weren't making money, they wouldn't do it. So they know something the rest of us don't. So this information will add just another layer of like ability to predict and to so, like I got my insurance license a few years ago, right? And then so I kind of understand like a little bit about what they're doing. So this data is like, it's like, next level.
I had to research it because you said this. Earliest known insurance, ancient Babylon, 1750 BCE, in the time of the Code of Hammurabi. Code of Hammurabi. Merchants using loans to trade could pay extra fees so that if their shipment got stolen or lost, the loan didn't have to be fully repaid. That's basically proto insurance hiding inside a loan contract. Crazy. Interesting.
Yeah. I mean, what is
Greece and Rome, guys? Thank y'all. Costas and Roberto, thank you for insurance, jerks.
Insurance can be good. Somebody in the time of blockchain making autonomous insurances, so you can take insurance on your flight. So you enter beforehand the flight that you're gonna do, put like $10, and if your flight was delayed more than a certain amount of hours, as is public information, then you get reimbursed $100 per se, something like this. Because statistically, they knew that for as much as people feel it's gonna always happen to them, it pays back. And this was an autonomous app, so means there is nobody that cover the cost in case. So whatever is the money put in is what the money can come out of it only. And it's an interesting, autonomous, business.
Didn't even have air condition yet, and they're already focusing on insurance. It's crazy. I'm just thinking about like the time period.
I always felt like insurance was
but it's only for 1 year. For
Right, that's
1 year.
1 year, and this is sure a little bit longer, but those seem to be getting smaller. But the other insurance, like if you drop it or water damage, okay, that's on me. I appreciate that.
So
But the
dumb.
other type of insurance, I'm just like, you know what, y'all are being mean right now. I don't like you.
But you know what? I mean, to their defense, I worked the headphones, dude. I worked headphones from Radio Shack. I would buy that insurance like a year before. I mean, those things they used to get destroyed, in my house. So we'd like get free ones all the time, just like one
Sick.
after the other. So especially headphones in the house. Like we had 4 kids. They all got headphones on the computer. They're all getting trashed, all tangled up, and so
Yeah,
that actually helped. I saved a lot of money.
you know what? I think they take the diligence to actually keep the small piece of paper with the stamp with the origin, like this, in order to be able to claim and go there, because they monetize on the fact that a lot of people even forget they do these things. Like you do it, and then you forgot. If it's get broken, just throw it away, buy a new one or whatever, and never go there claiming. But funny enough, there are some light bulb, the LED light bulb, very huge and quite expensive, that I bought. They were guaranteed for a year, and 6 months later, bam, 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 one. It's literally like with a timer, they all exploded. And I brought them back, and they gave me new ones, which are gonna explode in 6 months again. But how many people is bothered to take them, bring them back to the shop? So for those few that they do it, they're very happy to do it, because anyway, they made the difference of the money very fast. Something that shocked me in the United States when I was there is that you can go Best Buy, take a product, bring it home, and for 5 days later you bring it back, and they give you to the last cents back to you. They no question asked. This is something that in Europe they look at you like if you're crazy if you want your money back, but they don't even.
Damn.
Once you buy it, that's it. It's yours forever.
The most insane line is I used to work at Costco, and the day after Christmas, everybody's returning their Christmas trees, like a big old line. That's
Yeah.
crazy, man.
Damn.
A friend of mine was returning to Walmart things that they don't even sell there. Like they give you a coupon, they wouldn't give you the money. Says, look, we don't sell this item. We take it back anyway, but you have a coupon, which is insane. I think.
She made a business, returning stuff that my dad bought and never used.
How interesting is that this comes with the physical items, right? And now, like for example, I deactivated a few things. Photoshop and all the Adobe gone. And I own it I never own it, because if I own it, I still have it. Like you need to keep paying forever to have something. You don't return a piece of software is incredible. Like compared to a physical item, they should be equal, right? Because at the end of the day, it's a tool that you use to do a work. So if you are a carpenter, your tool is a physical tool that cut wood and whatever. If you are, a web designer, your tool should have the same right than the tool of the carpenter, but you don't. It is wrong.
What happens when your app is the tool and then Apple doesn't refund you for that tool?
Exactly correct.
But the tool keeps getting upgraded. That's the kind of the difference. Like I have tools that chisels my grandfather had back in the 1930s. Like I have his whole set of chisels, right? That's one set of chisels for the lifetime. They're like 100 years old. They're over 100 years old. But software changes. There's upgrades. So is it the same piece of software when you first started, or is it like the different version? So that's I think that the only difference.
Dude,
you know what I mean?
Oh my God. You really want to, you just reminded me, like as a musician.
Why does my hammer need Wi-Fi? I just don't understand.
Yo, that's not a bad idea.
Dude,
Hits. How many hits?
It sends back information to the company about like what you've been nailing, like the type
how
of
much
nails,
workout
much
you got.
feedback.
Yep.
Oh my God.
But you pay for 100 hits, the 101 doesn't hit anymore. It breaks.
Freaking locks.
There
Gotta buy
is
the subscription.
a gyroscope inside the
There's a
locks.
hammer that
Why is it
turns
so
into a
heavy?
brick.
It literally turns into a brick.
That's hilarious, dude.
Now it's just a more effective hammer.
That's what is happening though. They're still putting electronics intelligence or whatever inside any normal tool, so that they can do exactly that, that send you the updates. Because the software world is a world where you keep making money forever, and it's terrible or good. I don't know which side you are of the software
We
industry.
should
Oh my
with the
god.
Wi-Fi and like technology and like apps. So
Fucking Wi-Fi hammer.com. Look it up. I'll buy it. Wi-Fi hammer.com.
it's not
we've
It's
got
available. It's
we've got 30
available.
domains and 0 launch products. We're vibe coding businesses right now.
oh my, that's hilarious. Can you imagine like vibe coding tools, like
Dude,
inserting like
yes. And that's actually one of the Google updates that just happened where you can 3D make anything now easily. Like you thought Blender was crazy. Imagine what the printing for 3D printers is going to be like, or how easy it is to make schematics to just send to China to outsource your idea or your invention. The other thing is how math problems that are like 180 years old, whatever, are now being solved. Like shit.
Mm.
And it's always some weird technical thing where it's like somebody was too conservative about a calculation. Oh, and the AI is like, let's try both ways. Oh, there's the solution. It's funny as hell. Like the human didn't think about like one little thing, but the AI is like thinking about everything at once.
I'm watching a show that is 14 years old, which means that they didn't have the knowledge that we have today on AI and things, right? That is called Person of Interest. And pretty much is this guy that managed to get all the data from cameras and any source that there is. And there is this software application that can predict violent crimes based on yeah, yeah, but it's funny how it's so actual today because this is something that today makes more sense than it would have made 14 years ago, because now you know that if you put an AI to analyze all the data collected and follow the patterns, it's not an impossible thing. Like it will be something that potentially maybe is already been done. Right. In fact, it's cute. It's absurd to the level the realities detached from the shows. And sometimes you need to know. Something that I love about American shows is that is the one guy and there are 50 other people shooting at him, and he's like standing in the middle, and they don't hit
Nobody
him, not
hits.
even on a
Nobody ever
leg,
hits.
and he shot only one bullet and killed 10 of them in one shot. Like. The impossible situation that you look at it and say, okay, well,
you just
let's take it
described
as,
John Wick. I mean, that's like
for
basically
example, like that is all like that, like it is
everyone.
a real different, because the good guy is protected by whatever. It's
Funny when
funny.
you it's funny when when you actually do handle handguns and you start watching shows. You're like, no way, bro, that's not like it. Like, a lot of things don't make sense anymore. Like
Now, because you know guns better, maybe in computer terms, there are things you see in the show, beside with the access denied or sex granted, the big screen, that is silly, but it makes sense for the viewer to see that the guy finally accessed the system, maybe. But there were, for example, things that they did in, I remember, like Jurassic Park. There was the video player that was playing a video, and it was clearly the video player of the operating system that supposedly was the guy that they were chatting live with the other person, like, and you see the bar underneath the moves, like, because he's playing the video. And it's interesting how they use illiteracy of people mixed with the effect that it can have in the movie to pass you things that are not correct. That's why I appreciate movie where they do the due research, and even they talk about chemical things. They say word that maybe nobody will understand. But if somebody is in the sector, they say, "Oh my God, this makes sense." Like they're accurate for that.
it's funny when you watch older movies about like say hacking. Like there's a show came out in the '90s called Hackers, right? And
Yeah.
they're all doing their thing, right? And then so, for some reason, all the
The
code is
screen projected is
it's
that's
amazing.
fantastic.
Or when, or
Go
yeah,
for it.
or
Finish it.
when they came out with like CGI things, like you see the spark, the electron going down the
Exactly. 'Cause
board down, just traveling through things inside too. It's funny. It's like they had to like show people like how hacking works by following electron through some,
which is
it's
it doesn't. Well, if you think there is so much lost knowledge there is in the archive of the Vaticans or other places where you have maybe so much interesting stuff that should be studied over and over in books that are like 1,000, 2,000 years old.
Yeah, the Vatican.
That's an interesting place. One time, I mean, like not outside the tourist area, one time only. It is there is more militarized and police with the bazoo almost. You cannot step around by mistake. You don't do 2 meters.
You know,
Right, exactly.
when he's got his wall, that's like one of the highest walls around a city. You know,
A TV show tried to bring some immigrants in the Vatican. They've been kicked out very, very fast by the police. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Chris.
Your audio, you're muted.
What's the topic? The Vatican? No comment.
Where you been, bro? Where you been on my
Where have you been? Recent Google update. I know Joe was talking about Gemini updates, but I think most recently they just started going removing the traditional Google search function, and when you search, it's now an AI chat assistant. So I experienced that today. It was a hard back out. I literally backed out again and said, "No, Google search. I want links. I want everything else. I have my other LLMs for their purpose. Google don't do this." But it's funny because DuckDuckGo saw a 30% increase in their downloads via iPhone just recently with this new Google search update. So this is another big change in SEO land.
Tell us more. I mean, is that because the SEO has been affected? So yeah, I'm sure, Chris, you have opinions. I'd like to know.
100%, man. I'm not a big fan of this update. I think it's similar to how Google treated Google Maps or Google My Business. They said, you know what? Why don't we just silo this information over here? Then they did it with the FAQs. Then they did it with the recently suggested. So it seems like they continue to take our information and silo it for themselves, and then and now this new LLM is going to gatekeep the links, the information, the helpful articles.
So can you explain, like, because it's a big topic, but can you like hit some highlights in terms of, okay, I'm a business owner. I'm trying to do my SEO. I'm trying to use anti-gravity to say, SEO those shit out of my website. Using all these tricks, blah blah blah. But what is happening? What is like? Can you explain that? Because that's kind of a whole mystery.
Sure, it's more that the information that we've provided to Google to be more easily found is now being gatekeeped, and they are now choosing. Yes, they were always kind of choosing who's going to be first in results or where you're going to be placed. They are now taking over they're trying to present the solution to you. So what this means for business owners now is it's going to be a different practice on how you try to get found by customers, by people searching for solutions to their problem.
So what's the solution? Like it used to. So you're saying if I SEO my website, right, that information is there on my website because I'm hoping somebody was going to find me when they search it. So you're saying that Google, in a sense, puts like a barrier between me and the clients, and they decide how I get found. Is that kind of what you're saying?
The big issue is that before they were indexing your content, now they're stealing your content and providing themselves to the person. So you need to put your hint in the content that is going to be served to the person because they are not going to come to your website anymore. I mean, in the past, you make a website that sells, for example, ceramic plates, and you create a 20 landing page about making plates with ceramic, home, and the duration, how to fix them, whatever. And because people will Google, arrive there, get to the landing page, and then maybe purchase some item or branding. Now this information goes to Google, and when people says how I fix the broken ceramic plate, Google just give them the information directly. So there is no reason to come to your page. So you need to embed in that information the Google parrots back to the user, whatever can be useful to brand you or so the damage which a lot of people complain because it changed completely the mechanics of how a search engine works. It's no more an indexer. Is you remove the fact that people click to get to your website. So I think the same postcard to people, physical postcard with a QR code to your site is gonna become the best way to get people to your website. Yeah.
What about other search websites? Like you mentioned, DuckDuckGo. Is there a way to like I can still put my thing out, but then gets picked up by others? Is that still a thing, or
No, that's true. Yeah, DuckDuckGo, Yahoo, Bing, all the other search, as long as they're not implementing this AI first, LLM first sort of Google search focus, they're. I, I just don't understand why we can't have both. This
Yeah,
is
but
this is
the point is exactly that, in my opinion, right? Is what how you catch the person. I mean, like if I have a restaurant that people need to go out to eat, if Google tell them how to cook the steak, they don't care. I mean, they want to just get the information how to get to your restaurant. Google can say in this geographical area this food is better or whatever, but there is a limited amount of information that Google can put in the middle to stop people from actually coming to your site to
That's
get
a
the
good ass
information
point.
that they need. And if it's what time you're open and they see it in Google Map rather than your website, so who cares? At the end, they're coming to you to buy the food. But it is when your sales value is limited to an information, then you lose because you're no more, reached for the answer. And now I think because I think the analysis should be why people were going to Google. People were going to Google to understand something, to find the precise document or things, to find the precise. Because I think they Google and all the search engine for that, even if the other were almost irrelevant next to Google, they all those things lost at least a 40% of searches because people now ask to ChatGPT directly because it's not important that there is a website explaining to you. Is the explanation the final destination of the search? So yeah, because rag. Yeah, the point is how I teach AI about me so that when somebody asks who is the most handsome person in Bali, Roberto go with the answer automatically.
you can find the information yourself? Yeah, of course I can. I can use LLMs. I'm doing it myself. I'm asking. Isn't that doing it myself?
But I think that's the concern is if these search engines are becoming LLMs, no new information will be indexed in the same way that they were before. Meaning, one LLM is searching another LLM, and they're having backdated information. It's not, so it's just it's circular, and I don't feel like it's going to have relevant. Unless it can address the search query as Google tried to focus on for so long. I think this is going to backfire.
So then what you need a Google type search engine that searches the LLMs for you. But what happens when you get a new business comes out and then it hasn't been indexed? I mean, if they're not indexing like new businesses that come up on say Google My Business, like well, now what? Like what do you
Most websites now are getting reached by people because you see a video that went viral that says, "Yeah, if you go to this website, then you're gonna do this or that," things like that. Because, right, correct. That's why influencers, between quote, make money, right? Because these people replace the fact that I'm searching through Google for an information for the fact that people listen like empty brains. This people whatever they say people do, and this has more value than anything else because if Elon Musk tomorrow says oh, I love a milk chocolate, suddenly everybody's gonna buy milk chocolate. Chocolate factory stocks is gonna go up, etc., etc.
but those things also get pushed by algorithms. So even that
Yeah, but it's a
influencer,
different thing.
yeah, it's a different thing, yeah. But
Comes to you go back to the television, you're watching the show, there is the advertisement, and the advertisement tell you buy this kind of blue jeans because they're good. You didn't even thought about the fact that you need the blue jeans, but suddenly the next day you go shopping for those. Is moving back, is circle moving back, right? The
Right.
beauty of the fact that you want new pants and then you search for new pants, you compare the pants that are selling around and then you go buy them.
I feel like I feel like we could do more of our own research within a regular search model as opposed to an LLM. It's going to give you one, two, three options, and I don't know. It's leaning the conversation towards a certain direction. how do you verify? How do we then, verify certain businesses are showing up to a certain region, location? Is it specific to the user? Because if you're adding your own prompts in beforehand, what is it trying to understand about you? So I guess that's the gray area that people are trying to understand as this new system is being rolled out.
People is lazy. Whatever is presented to them, they take in general. I mean, I don't start making complex research or something. Why should I? So the first thing that comes to me is what I take as good advice or as a good things to do. And be that one is the point that, you need to hack. It's impossible because if just there is two people that want to be the first answer, there is no more possible first answer, right? For a single user that was.
Yeah. Can I use Joe's app as an example? So okay, so if your app Super Scraper, right? The only thing it did was search or ask other LLMs. I think that's the equivalent of what this new Google search is. Instead of going to specific databases and finding and right. So I'm kind of thinking it's like asking about past old information. It's not going to understand the context. You actually have processes that go to certain databases to look things up and verify and provide documentation, as opposed to here's kind of just a blurb of what we think you should know about this thing. Yeah, Roberto might be right that people are just they want something delivered to them. Don't make them think. Just give it to them. Tell them what they want. It's funny because almost like the self-service is great for someone to be able to set up an API, but there's also people out there who provide that as a service. Hey, if you get to a point in your project where you hit a wall and you're like, I'm willing to pay someone with expertise to do this for me, I would love to have an API service if that's the piece people are struggling with. It's super simple to set up some keys and then map the data.
You know what is cool? I'm setting out this website that is Humans API. So you can put all the information you want people knows about you to use in different way, profile pictures rather than and decide what grade you will based on the API key that you release for you, which is the information that comes out. So at that point, if somebody need to use your information for a website, for a report, for a profile somewhere, you just give the API key and automatically they can reach the information that is constantly up to date. So if you change an address, they get the new address. Say you do contract with the phone company, that you need to give the address or whatever. So it is human API and the API endpoint, and there are many different APIs, so they return information. And you manage what each of the people can see based on the key that you create for
Roberto,
yourself.
because we could have made a boatload of money by then. Hear me out here, okay? So all these AI LLMs, right? They needed our information online. At the same time, these companies were introducing API limits, Twitter, X, Reddit. What if we all put our information and websites behind APIs to charge these companies for access to our data? Kind of as Roberto was saying, wow, we could have saved ourselves some information in the advancements of this AI.
Yeah, think a sexy picture behind an API. After OnlyFans, only APIs, and then you get access. That's a beautiful thing. .org.
How do you spell yellow? Is it YELLO, right?
Never eat the yellow snow. Never.
Yellow.
Never.
It's available.
It's the inner. It's like if Yelp and Yellow Pages had a baby.
What about Wiki API? That's another one. That's all basic information about you, but it's all an API.
Okay, that's pretty good. What about APIify? Not a mouthful.
Yeah, that's
API.
API me.
API.me.
No, API.me. Oh, here we go.
$20,000 if you do.
Oh my God, $20,000.
20,000. Okay, I shot too high.
It sounds like something a British person would do. First of all, very British thing to do. I mean, who likes that neighbor? Who wants to be that guy's neighbor? You know what I mean? He's out in the backyard. He's like revving up his thing. Shut up, mate. Try to have tea
See, it
time.
sounds Australian to us, kind of.
Mate. Oh yeah, mate is okay. Setting off all the speed cams. Have you heard about the speed cams of people like cutting down in London? They call them.
In Italy we had as well
Blade
because
Runners.
hero. People loved him. People made songs. Actually, like an Italian Got Talent, like America Got Talent, or something like this. Somebody arrived with a song about the guy that cuts down the speed cameras.
That's not an equitable. Would you rather? Would you rather be washing cars as a punishment, or would you like to be the judge sentencing people?
Laugh.
That's not cool.
Bringing all his 20 cars at the Walmart parking lot. In
Would you
fact,
rather?
the real question is, did the judge use ChatGPT to come out with his punishment or not? Because
Can you imagine? I mean, that's crazy when like lawyers are doing, you doing ChatGPT. Yeah, and they're doing it wrong. It's like all the cases that they put, have that they're wrong. There's a speaking of fish. Okay, can I do a side tangent? Is that okay? I just want to tell you about this. It was a Volvo covered in those animatronic fish that sing, and they called it the tabernacle. What is it called? Oh my god, dude! Oh no, the Sashimi Tabernacle Choir. So it was a Volvo covered in all these fish, and they're all coordinated, so they all sing at the same time. From Texas.
yeah, it's funny because there is the fish. You touch the wall, you press the button, and start singing the song. In America, it's very popular, and many people are putting AI inside it, so the fish is actually reacting and speaking things that are contextual. That's I think I like makers that do this sort of silly things, and I envy them because they have the time and the energy to do these things.
You guys know the origin story behind that singing fish, right?
No, tell us.
This must be fun.
Oh gosh. So basically, this is either legend has it, can't confirm nor deny, but they're claiming that actually the CIA was using some of these devices, fish with microphones in them, as listening devices, not for the regular people. But what happened is they were worried that if somehow someone found a fish with a microphone in it, that would raise an alarm because that's not normal. But if you put it into an everyday consumer toy that gets shipped out to millions of people, if one were to
Then
wash up, that's true.
But it makes sense though. It's like being desensitized. It's like the release of the alien information. Like it's something we're like nobody cares. Like back in the day, it was like, oh my gosh, aliens. You lose your minds, and there's like night. Art Bell in the middle of the night with the aliens and all that stuff. Now it's like that as they releasing it, you're like, I don't care about aliens. Like if I saw one, it'd be like,
well, then you suddenly care.
oh yeah, then I would care. Only if I'm getting abducted and probed, and then I care. So who knows what's really happening with the abductors and the probes? Like why are they always probing? That's what I want to know.
Isn't
Chris?
that what we do to animals? We abduct them, we probe them, we do experiments, and we send them back.
Do we? I'm not doing that. I'm not going for the butts.
I know I'm not, but don't the scientists, and veterinarians running experiments?
Dude,
See, alien abducted me, install a huge penis, and send me back to just study the effect of it, and it's a very interesting research.
They have never seen anything quite like this before. They said, wow, what a penis. That's incredible.
So huge.
I walked in, I said, wow, what a penis.
I almost got a job at a
It's the
veterinary.
best.
I went to apply for a veterinary job across the street from my high school because it was posted. So I went there to kind of see what it's about. And they're showing me around, and then they're like, oh, and by the way, you have to take the temperature of the animals by putting a thermometer up their, rear. I'm like, that's it, I'm out. That literally, like, as soon as they said that, I was like, this is not for me. And that was the end of like anything related to animals like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, in fact, I remember that in the United States, they forced kids to dissect a frog as part of science study. So you have this frog that is alive, and you need to cut it open to see the inside or something. To which I would have refused because, it's traumatizing.
Y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear
Okay.
you, Joe.
Dude, there's a storm, and every time the thunder flashes and electricity goes, I'm like, oh my god, it's blowing my mind. My internet's fine. I'm not lagging, and it's still fucking up today. It's so stupid.
Do you not have like a power backup type of thing, like a battery thing?
No, it's not even that. It's just like everything flickered, like all the electricity went out and then it came back on, so it reset the modem. So stupid.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I know.
So Texas is out. I'm not going to Texas.
I'm choosing Texas.
Spotify started rolling out narrated articles for major publications such as Rolling Stone, The Atlantic, Vogue, Variety, and Vanity Fair for user of its audiobook offering, blending news and spoken word content. Now computer talk and talks nicely, no more like a fancy robot that used to be like not nice. Is the interface for us that we use computer going to change so drastically? Now, when I write code, I don't type even anymore. I have my application, I press the button, I say what I want to say, and then I send it. So much that Cloud Code even knows that if there is something that makes no sense at all, says, it's being a wrong audio, transcript issue that generated that.
I mean,
That
how far can we? Here's a good experiment. How what can you get away with and still get what you want? That's the good
Well,
question.
I actually did that today because I was like typing without looking, and literally every word was wrong. Every single every letter, and it still knew what I was trying to say. Like it was like, oh, it's probably closest to these.
I had an idea.
I mean,
We,
who needs to learn English? You know what I mean? It's like, oh my God.
so we make an app for reviews of hotel, restaurant, shops, whatever, where you need to leave the review when you are in the shop, pressing the button and recording with your voice the review of the place. So then people can listen to the reviews based on geographical location.
Wow,
That's
you
cool.
just hear a bunch of accents just by the locals.
And then you can have transcribe it so you can read it in English or whatever language you want. That's cool.
Dude, antiques are funny. Like it just trips me out that some of that shit could sit in a store for hundreds of years and nobody might buy it.
Antiques smell funny. That's for sure. I can tell you that right now.
Oh,
Beautiful. I love this, man.
A
I
lot of
love
antiques
this,
were actually
man.
meant for the trash. People were about to throw them away, and someone said, "Hey, I can make money off that, or see the value in it."
Think about how many people. I hate to get a little morbid, but like die by themselves and then have a bunch of shit that somebody has to pick up or move or take somewhere. That's a lot of humans that just have a bunch of stuff and they're alone. And there's a quote in one of my books that I'm reading that says, "Nobody cares more about your possessions and the things that you own more than yourself." It's like, damn. And that's a book on the psychology of money. And I think the gist of it was to be like, dude, people spend all this money trying to impress other people, but nobody
Mhm.
even cares about what you have more than you.
And then at the end of the day, it's like it becomes a burden to somebody else. Like I was talking last time, it's like there's these boomers who have these crazy collections of all kinds of stuff. They pass away, and now the kids, the grandkids, have to like deal with grandma's collection of XYZ, and some of them are crazy. You know what I mean? It's like, what do you do? Like, is it what's it worth? Like, like somebody collected all the Beanie Babies. Yes, so what? That was the biggest boondoggle. That was like that was like a early crypto, pump and dump, like Beanie Babies. That you know what I mean? Oh, it's gonna be worth something, and then it's like it's worthless.
Dude, and my mom and dad are kind of the opposite. Where my mom, as she gets older, she's like, "Why do I have more than 2 mugs? Who else am I collecting all these?" And my dad's like collecting every newspaper he's ever had. They're complete opposites. Yeah,
Talk to me about the collections, Joe. Like how much paper we're talking about here? How
dude.
far
Well,
back?
when I was a kid, when I was like really young, he's like my garage was just stacked with years and years. So even now that I visit him in the nursing home and he gets his paper once a week, he still has a stack of papers piling up. I'm like, dude, give them away. Like, there's so many older people in here that love to read. Like, they're not gonna. What are you doing with these? It's still just a habit.
What's his answer? Does he have an answer for why he collects them?
Just to reference things later that he like thinks about. Oh yeah, that was in one of these, and he'll go and look for it. He'll show me listings or some story. And to be completely fair, dude, like maybe 10% of the time, I'm like, yo, that could help my legal work or something. That's a big one or something that actually matters. So I know he's doing it because he thinks of like my brother. My brother builds buildings. He'll see his work in the paper and he wants to reference it or show him. But at the same time, I'm like, yo, what's the name of it? Let me go to the internet and find it right now.
Sure, sure. But look, there's an example where it's printed and can't be re-edited or 404 later down the road.
Ooh. Chris,
So
don't let him
there's
see this
some
podcast, damn it. Don't let my dad see this
it's really
shit.
solid. Yeah. I'm not, yeah. I don't want to encourage
Her
that,
son,
but
her
I
404
kind of see
son.
why.
Just getting all mad.
You know, that he could have a newspaper article about Berenstain Bears, and we could finally put this to rest and say, okay, how was it spelled?
Wow.
How was it?
Wow. Also, he has like all his dad's newspaper clippings from like college and sport. Yeah. And I have them. He like passed them down to me where it's like in
I
an
was going to
envelope.
say, did he take you to the garage and be like, son, one day all this will be yours?
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah.
So
Roberto?
Canada made an online safety bill potentially enabling secret orders to weaken encryption. So how far the government should go, should be allowed to go in accessing private communication in the name of safety, and should be disclosed. Yeah, it's encrypted, but the encryption is so crap that anybody can decrypt it. So pretty much it's useless.
The better question is, do Italians have a word for segue?
But do y'all even get newspapers in Indonesia? That's what I wanted to know. That's hilarious. But
Very cool stuff.
Carney.
Apple and Google are lobbying to constrain those Canadian powers over app stores and messaging. And see, I think is asking people to make encryption weak because it need to be broken to find what was encrypted.
say no privacy.
Every time you open a door for the government, you are opening it also for criminals. You know, so it is.
The difference about
between government and criminals. That's right. Some are legitimate criminals.
I didn't mean that.
Difference. Criminals go to jail. Politicians make money, keep their jobs.
Exactly.
And artists get to commit fraud without ever being punished. Anyways,
so the U.S. Supreme Court is letting a Vermont social media addiction lawsuit against Meta to move ahead. So addictive UX become a legal defect. How radically will social platforms have to change their design pattern? So now you make a website and it become illegal for how it's designed.
damn, so all the Claude websites are just gonna be suing each other or what?
What?
You want the people to stay in your website, but if you do it in a certain manner, then automatically you're committing a crime. So Facebook is gonna have a page as soon as you log in says "piss off, you." So they're okay with the law.
Well, doesn't
I think
that'd be
these
weird.
things are strange because
think about updating? That's gonna happen. It's already happening.
That's exactly the guardrails that they're putting. Is no more self-inflicted, if you want to use the term, as it is now, but they're gonna be government-inflicted when criminals can use, the AI without guardrails. Government can use the AI without guardrails, but the regular citizen has to go through the queue at the airport for 2 hours and remove their underwear to go through. The EU is preparing to reserve most of the future mobile satellite spectrum for European operators. Is industrial policy and orbital connectivity necessary strategic autonomy or counterproductive protection? It's like always put rules, limit people, and advancement in technology are stopped.
I think Europe shouldn't say anything. They shouldn't have an opinion. They shouldn't make rules. They shouldn't impose their rules on other people because look at Europe right now, what they've done to it. It's not good. You know what I mean?
Europe is a disaster.
It's like if
Damn.
Yeah.
What about this one? Hold
like,
up. Sam Altman stated that predictions about an immediate AI job apocalypse have not fully materialized yet. AI hype versus reality or quiet disruption is still disruption.
It's funny because Anthropic at the same time came out with the actual study and numbers, not on what jobs AI is removing, but then the actual effect. So, where is the AI improving quality of work for people? Because every time people think AI replaces the person, but it's actually AI makes the person better in doing their job. And other important things to look at.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, yes, it makes me better, but there's a point where like the thing that I wasn't able to do before, like before I used to have to like hire somebody on Fiverr to do certain things. Now I do those things like all the time. So in a sense, it does displace, somebody who used to do it. And then it's almost like you take away their power, and now I'm supercharged. I have more power. You know what I mean? Like I've leveled up in some way. Like it helps you level up.
I was
But
gonna
then
say that if you've seen all these teachers complaining about why they're leaving education system, they're saying because like there used to be bad kids back in the day, and now it's a majority of just kids do not care. And the attitude is that, well, AI is going to just destroy the world anyway. And I'm like, whoa. I started to
no,
really, I sat with that one for a minute and I said, yeah, yeah. Like if I have like these kind of like doomsday thoughts as an adult, imagine a kid that might be depressed that's really like everything's pointless. Dude, I can remember being a teenager and feeling like that, but even more so exacerbated now with technology. Shit.
I think there's a lot of bad teachers, and the fact that they're leaving is not a bad thing. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
But
Because
what if they're the
Yeah.
good ones?
You see, many times I complain about the quality of work from people that probably didn't make it to be a scientist as NASA or CERN in Europe, And if you end up with a job that is low pay and required masses, is easy to enter. We just look like to become a police officer is what 6 months the academy, and you're already enrolled to work. You know, there are expectation from certain people that it shouldn't be there. If you want a quality police, make a good potential training, good filter, but who wants to do the job, right? As the point of in between the man and all.
That's true.
okay. I had a friend of mine who tried to get into law enforcement. He's a really smart guy. He went through, got his law degree. Didn't do the bar, but then he went to go to academy. And what he found out is that they don't hire smart people. They actually hire lower IQ people because they take orders, right? So if you're smart,
Like in the army, yeah.
you might in the orders, but they want people at lower IQ because they just follow orders and do what they're told.
I can see it.
Yeah, but that's why the school system work the way that it work, because the country of super intelligent people. But that's why they're scared of AI at the same time, right? So people start, putting one plus one plus one, and then start revolting rather
And
than
okay,
correct. Exactly. At our age, there was no internet, so either is the teacher telling you the thing or you don't learn it. Now
shit.
I tell my kid at school, maybe you make some friend is a tool because you have an adult you can ask question to. But if you want to learn to play the violin, just open YouTube. There are plenty of free courses to learn that. You don't really need that.
Dude,
You
the
know,
other, what do we mean by
I have a very good example if you want. When I was in first grade, we were only 15 kids because we had a girl that she was deaf mute, and she was counting as 5 kids because of the difficulty of manage her. We
damn?
had a teacher for first and second grade. She was very old style. She really had to stick to like she was putting all her rings with the stone toward the inside and slap kids. Take the trash bin and put it on the head of the kids. Things that today she will be in prison
What?
for good. But this girl, she was able to speak like a normal person. She was like insanely good because this teacher had a patient to make her feel the vibration of her voice here, and so on and so forth. And this girl was fantastic. Then the parents all meet up to kick this teacher away. This teacher made sure that the replacement was the exact opposite, and out of all the kids in the class, only two end up in the university. So it's been ruined, like 15 kids ruined. If we had that teacher for the whole 5 years, would be top in whatever industry each of us would have worked, because the discipline and the shaping up the kid.
Oh, shit.
I once dodged a slap and hitting the kid next to me, so I
Wow.
never got
Wow.
slapped. But I
Back the
tell you,
rings. Come back.
Did I tell you about the ashtray story? I think I might have told you the ashtray story. I got punished. I got punished for in third grade, and I had to stay in class on my lunch break, and the teacher used my hand as an ashtray.
oh,
She's like,
shit.
Why she's at her desk smoking
in front of a
and
kid,
having her
and
ashes in my hand. That was my punishment. Oh
What?
my god!
Did
I
she like
see.
put it out on you, or just like put the
No, she didn't
ashes?
put it out. She just
Okay.
like tapped the ashes. It didn't burn me, but it's. I mean, like
Humiliating.
who does that? In the '70s, anything goes.
Oh shit!
Right.
Horrible
You know,
memories.
What do you got? Who's any team? You two had it good. You like had
it's funny because after many years, everybody regretted the kicking the teacher away. It is really, and you consider that you shape up who you're gonna be in your life in the early years of your life. 0 to 4 are crucial, and 4 to 10 is more a direction that you take if you have the good discipline there. And it was cool because she replaced a lot of parents that were weak in giving discipline to kids, right? But
that. Chris?
No comment.
No comment.
I'll hop in. I'll hop in when I can.
I feel
I'm
like
always curious.
my only bad memories that I cried were when I genuinely didn't do something. So I was just like, it's unfair tears. Like I didn't do it. Yeah, that was probably the worst of it. But
For the record, that third chicken, that wasn't my fault. I didn't do that. Anyways,
Dude.
so that's it.
wait, let's see. Chris, did you have anything to do with the GATE program when you were a kid?
I feel like there was talk early in grade school where they were like, "Hey, should we put him in this type of program? He would qualify." But I think at the time, my parents thought it would seclude or separate me from traditional, um, like the regular school lifestyle. Opposed to being in a GATE program. So I never participated. What about you guys?
Explain the gate program because
exactly, we don't know.
we're foreigners. We don't know anything about that.
Sounds ridiculous. Yeah. Basically, it was a kind of a CIA program to look for psychics, or they would make kids do weird, strange tests and experiments. And I remember it. I vividly remember this shit. Where they pulled me into the hallway. I was in like kindergarten, I think, and they put me in a desk, and they're having you put on headphones, and like when you hear something, raise your hand. Like, so they're trying to test your frequencies, and then they would try to test like your pattern matching skills, like with cards and like things that were behind them. It was really strange. And then that's when I got placed into like pre-AP GT super early. Gifted and talented is what they called it. And I didn't actually care to be in it beyond 4th and 5th grade because I felt like they kind of, it's too competitive, bro. Like I didn't like the competition aspect. I just wanted to learn and be friends with people. And so I kind of like lost interest in competing because they put people against each other. But that's kind of where it fell through. Like where I went into middle school and high school not trying to take advanced classes, even though I might have been perceived as that. I don't know. But yeah, it was called. Go ahead.
In I think it junior high school. I think it was like I think I remember like all of us going into a van that came by, and we had the headphones with the frequencies. It was like I don't know, like a bus or something where we'll go in there, or we'll put the headphones on.
Yeah, I did that too.
It started in the 80s, 1980.
Yeah, so I went. I remember one time doing that. So is this the thing that the gate thing that is there's an article, a PDF that somebody posted? Was that part of that?
No, that's for remote viewing.
Oh, remember? Okay, something different. Okay.
It made me wonder, especially knowing the history of it, like how long it's been around. It's a good question. Should we go to the next pod question here, guys? Roberto?
Okay. New York becoming law forcing advertiser to disclose AI generated synthetic performers and penalizing undisclosed use. So, will transparency labels on AI faces and voices meaningfully rebuild trust, or just because in your fine print? So, because like the small fine prints on the bottom of.
Well, I hate the advertisements. It's like, he would product. Why is he on every single product? Probably because his voice is like in the atmosphere, like more than anybody else on the internet.
There's another lady who's Australian, she's like talks about vitamins and pink salt and things like that. Whatever. I see her a lot, schlepping, products.
I almost wonder if
Yeah.
there's credibility or validity to them putting an AI label on anything. And I ask that because we've had some multiple examples of the traditional mainstream news putting out video or something, a scenario, claiming it to be true, but people are looking back after the fact and finding evidence of AI. One example is the White House Correspondents' Dinner, uh, when there was that the shooting or the scuffle going on. One person looked like they were putting a piece of meat or chicken to their mouth, and they're moving it away, and it turns into a fork. That came out from the White House based on that event, and I almost wonder about other things in our past or what's being put out as truth could be created by AI. I mean, people are questioning things, they're pointing things out.
AI, but also stock footage. Sometimes to feel empty, they use stock footage you think is related to the actual topic of discussion, right? Has been a fire, they could say, and they show a fire, a housing fire. There's nothing to do with the house they actually burned because it's for this illustration
Most movies
purpose
do
only,
that. You know what I mean?
right?
The bad things they use it in real life. You know, sometimes
Yeah,
they get
they use it to claim that it's the actual fact sometime, and they get, So now with the, I appreciate there is a publication in Indonesia, like a news place that rather than having to find the journalist to go take the picture of the guy that being arrested, they created with AI, but it's obviously created with AI. So even the variety is created with AI, you don't need it because it's clear. So they give an illustration to the context, and it becomes much easier to write an article and put an image to it that is contextual without spending money on photojournalism, etc., etc.
it's like our screenshot or our thumbnails for our videos. You know,
Exactly, it didn't
completely
happen for you.
possible, generated.
But
I love that.
at the
I
same
love
time, you
it.
see a lot of controversial topics spoken by a clearly AI generated lady or guy in in the news feeds, other things, just because people hear the girl that defend the man, or whatever other things. And sometimes it's hard to see there is AI because AI is the point where you need to really put your eyes to it to notice so much that not even those that produce fake one realize that the fork become like transforms.
That's the
So
type of thing where it makes me actually think that they have extremely young people younger than me, that are managing social media just because they got a degree in it or just came out of college. Because when you think about the White House, don't you associate it with like some prestige or like super high standard for what they publish? And my example is the fact that they promoted Drake's song Shebang, and the lyrics, as I quote, that my N word don't know how to pay me back, so the next hat he catches for is a free one. He's talking about literally like murder, and they're posting it on a Trump with video, like a video with Trump, and it just blows my mind. I'm like, did anybody read the lyrics? Did you consider what you're promoting or how it comes off, or is there just a partnership? And are you just blending culture with whatever's popular? That blows my mind that there's no vetting of any kind with the white.
yeah, and sorry, like teenagers today, and I can see my own son. They I mean, I am particularly deviated with my brain, so I'm much prone to look at detail, and mostly the dyslexia makes you want to look letter by letter in a phrase, right? But they pass on top of things that is don't paying attention to a detail. That's why, I mean, like, if I am the guy that work at the White House that is putting a fake video, I will watch it over and over and over and over like 100 times before publishing something. While since that is not even understood the vetting that should be done on things, like they get just shoo, and they go to the next. Sometimes I need to explain to myself how to do something. You already typed and moved to three screen ahead to what I'm explaining. Just slow down, my God. Do one step per time. Uh, and this is gonna cause a lot of issue.
Is way
To
higher.
answer your question is, I think what's happening now more and more is like, yeah, we put, like, it's so the content, the AI content, is so everywhere. It's so, like, it's like throwaway, right? So you put it out there, like, I used to have, like, okay, my standards used to be kind of higher, early on, like last year than it is now. Now I'm like, it's good enough. Like, just send it, like, because it's so easy to just produce it so quickly. And so to answer, like, hey, maybe it's the same thing. Like, you create something, a video, or like the lyrics don't make sense, but you just send it because the messaging or what you're trying to say is important. You know what I mean? Or it's like you have to get this thing out. Like, if you overthink it, you might lose your
Well, what's crazy is if you don't overthink it, the entire public will, the whole world will, because that's your audience. That's who's watching.
Yeah, and I'm not justified. I think it's because, like, it nowadays people are just like, they're just pumping it out so quickly.
Yeah.
That you let things slide. Like, I have an automation with my client. I'm doing their social, and sometimes he gets back to me. He's like, "Hey, man, I don't like that because I didn't check it. I'll be honest. I just sent out, like, a week's worth or a month's worth. I don't do that anymore because it's crazy. But sending a month's worth of content out, like, within an hour, it's all posted and ready to go. It's like,
Damn.
I don't know. It's a byproduct of where we're at now. Like, it's so much of it.
Hands free. That's a great market, by the way. I always think about that, like walking into small businesses and being like, "Hey, I know you don't care about this, but let me bring you up to date." I used to do that. Let's see what else we got. News. Roberto.
You want news from me? I don't know if you already read this one. The EU AI Act risk-based regime taking effect and beginning to bite by 2026, especially for high-risk system and general-purpose models. Will rigorous European AI rules become a global standard, or will companies increasingly geofence use safe models from the rest, which is obviously the answer? In Europe is going to find themselves like at the last wagon of the train. Maybe it is sad, but on the other side, I have to say that European regulators protect citizens in a way that is incredible. Um, when it comes, for example, to credit history, for example, in Europe is super complex. It's not like in America that financial business of people are sold between company like nothing it is. In Europe, somebody cannot deny your credit based on your credit history, which is illegal. There are a lot of other aspects that protect the consumer in a very different way on how it's protected in America. For example, you cannot bring back the item you purchased and ask the money back, right? There is no such thing. But in terms of privacy, in terms of invasion, people bothering you or advertisement, falsely reclaiming things, etc. Europe is very, very strong, and that's something I appreciate.
But they're sure as weak as F on their, like, farmers. I'm like, what's up with the French? Dude, let me tell you, the French farmers are the most, like, based group of group of people on the planet, dude. They go in there with their the machinery, and they're spraying like fecal matter.
Look, now just to give context, because people don't know, but France had the revolution, and the French people revolted against the government in 1800 when it was they decapitated the queen, whatever it was, Marie Elizabeth, Marie Antoinette. Anyways, and this stays in their DNA. As soon as the government tried to raise the age for pension, bam, people go on the street. They know they have this power, and this is very, very, very big. And the farmers, when they've been put in a situation where they cannot do their job properly, or they will potentially go bankrupt because of regulation, they brought all the cow poo they could collect into the city in Paris and drop it on the government buildings. Right. And if you think there is no police there to stop them, sometimes put the car and the guy with the tractor just go through everything because
This is farmers, like, people are doing the same thing because they're trying to regulate, like fart cow, cows, methane from the cows. They're trying to destroy the farming industry. But
yeah,
anyways,
no, Europe had these bad things that they want to equal countries, which is impossible because we are very different. And so monetarily, for example, every country give money to the European government, and the European government redistribute the money back to the country based on needs. And if the country doesn't spend the money, they get fined. So rather than keeping the money where they are and do the things, like Italy has to pay a lot of fine because our bureaucracy is so slow that we cannot catch up with the European bureaucracy that goes fast. So they give us the money. Nobody managed to send the money to anybody. We lose the money, plus we get a fine as well. And there are situations where there are quota. For example, farmers, Italy cannot produce more than a certain quantity of milk. So the farmers have the cow. You cannot leave the cow exploding. So you need to extract this milk, and then they need to throw it away, which is insane. So sometimes they go in the highway and they flood the highway with milk. In France, with wine, they give a quota to amount of wine that they can produce. A country like France and Italy, we make a quantity of wine that is insane. So there was flooding of at the border between France and Italy, like those trucks that transport a huge quantity of liquid, full of wine, and they were flooding the road with this wine just as protest against the government. Is insane. But yes, French are powerful in protesting, and in America probably many of those farmers will be shot by the police very easily.
No. Who's got shot? No farmer's been shot.
In America, okay.
America.
But yeah, so they let people protest in a way that is insane. Is a right. Unfortunately, a lot of criminal, vandals, they join those protests just to go and destroy shops, to destroy things for the pleasure of destroying, not because they are marrying the cause of the people protesting, which we do.
And then they get labeled as side.
It is very much, there is, a very much impression that the government has purposely squad of people that go around to do damage just to make these people look bad, the protesters.
People have caught them before,
right,
unfortunately.
Like
placing the bricks at the
exactly correct. No, it's true.
Pallet.
It's funny the first time I actually ever really went out to protest wasn't to go protest the cause. I was going to verify and research what the mainstream news was telling me.
Only
so I was
Chris
seeing
would
on
say
Fox. I was seeing on Fox and everything, like, man, these are some riots, and now they got BLM protests going on, at all these cities. And I was like, oh, really? At this city? I'm going to go grab my camcorder. So I went down there. It was a group of 50 to 100 people. They were just chanting. And I was like, this isn't the riot I was told about. Let me go to the inner city. I went to the inner city. Much, much bigger protest, 5,000 people plus. I'm waiting to catch some glass breaking, some fire bombs, something, right? No, these people are just marching and walking through the streets, and you get to chat with a few of them. And, why are you here? I was like, okay, so maybe the reality I'm being sold on the news isn't my reality. This isn't the truth or the reality. So then I started going around and participating in more of these events because I was like, okay, I'm finding that these people are a bit more patriotic in their own way versus just sitting at home and being submissive. I always love how. Go ahead.
Wait. So you're saying staying home is being submissive? Is that what you're saying?
Dude, I'm just cracking.
I don't make it a habit of going because, like, damn, bro, I got work to do. Like, I got a family, I got things to do.
Submissive to work,
who goes to these things? Who has time to go to these? I mean,
no, you need to do something if you want to change the world. For example, there were so many protests in Italy that we were fed up, so we made a protest against the protests. No,
oh my god, we're tired of doing this. We're here because we're tired. Sorry, go ahead.
To Costas' point, yes, I understand the idea of who has time to be able to go protest, right? If I'm trying to work and provide and earn money, right? That's the entire point, right? They want you working so hard and so, just barely getting by, so you don't have time, one, to protest or think for yourself, and three,
it's not.
No, but
the system providing for you. I mean, yeah, like, okay, like, go to the doctor when you break your arm, you go to the doctor. That makes sense, right? But it goes beyond. I guess I'm more of the self-reliance kind of thing. Like, anytime you have government, you're taken from the government, or there's strings attached. In other words, there's always strings attached. There is no freebie.
Well, I'm not petitioning the government to give me more services. I want them to still stay the hell out of my life and have
Oh yeah,
less
I'm
power and less control.
So
So to your point about working harder for your family, right? What did France do? They protested to lower or not raise their retirement age, right? We got to work an extra 3 to 5 years to provide for our family just because
yeah.
we demonize protesting. Have you ever chosen not to go to a restaurant, or you choose not to work with a business, or you cut
Yeah,
off a family member? That's a form of protest. Have you ever, like, do you not eat your meal at a restaurant sometimes because it sucks? Would you politely continue to eat the meal, or would you kind of protest and say, one, this isn't what I ordered, it's not cooked right, it's
yes,
not good?
yes. It makes sense. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
but I
bring
see
a
what you're
picket
saying.
fence. Bring a picket fence for the restaurant. No, okay. So my only way that I'm going to combine both of y'all's complaints is imagine how bad that it has to be that you do work full time, that you do have to take care of a family, and you still make time to go protest because of how bad it is.
It's the threshold. This is exactly what they want to measure, right?
Money.
They mismanage the money so bad that now they gotta like get more money from somebody. You know what I mean? So socialist countries, yeah. I mean,
Also,
where's all that
because there
money?
are no more baby born, and
Well,
the
the
population that
fees.
is shifting to
Yeah, because they squandered it doing stupid things. Buying stuff they shouldn't. I mean, how much does it cost to like give all this money to like illegal immigrants who come into the country, flooding Europe from like third world countries, from Syria and all those places? It's like someone's paying for that.
oh yeah.
So if you're complaining about not having money, is like stop giving money to people who shouldn't be there.
The government.
I don't know. That's another
Just
thing.
kidding.
Don't get me started.
Yeah,
Just kidding.
I'm assuring you that there are projects that there is a waste of money to build infrastructures, in the military, for example. What a bullet costs to a regular citizen in the army, the same exact bullet is 10 times the price, right? Because there are contracts between. It is always like this, so, but not only for America, that's worldwide. Money are wasted when it's not your money, it's easy to spend, right? So it is, and then taxation is one of the way to, bring this to people.
It, I think it's like it's worse than that. It's like money laundering, NGOs, like all that money going somewhere. Someone's getting that
Mm.
money. You know what I mean?
No,
So it's literally like a criminal, governments are relying on criminal organizations to funnel money back and forth between themselves.
I love what Dodge was doing at the beginning.
No. Oh, we didn't find
But for
anything.
who?
What
Right.
about the NGOs? Like,
My God.
dude, we
USAID.
go.
That
Is
one's
that
wild.
it's too big? It's too big to fight that thing. It's such a crime. It's so strong. It involves so many people that not even Elon Musk can do
So
something.
now you can
What
take
does
a
it do?
video of it, just put it
Mhm.
in most insane one that I've ever seen in my life. That's where I was telling y'all every week. You're just like, how is this possible? For example, one of the demos is like a rally car, and on a dirt with a bunch of people. And somebody's like, yeah, just replace the car with a bear, and it's a giant bear instead of the car in the exact same video. Like that's how detailed you can make it.
It's not. I need an AI that does the editing. Like take the video and does
Yeah,
the editing.
isn't it?
Emotion is attached to. But that
Oh,
was like months ago, bro.
yeah. The other funny part though is, okay, these are just observations. Google AI Plus charges $7.99 a month now, and I'm like, oh, they're hopping on the ChatGPT.
Mm.
Everybody's charging $7.99 now, right? As like a lower tier to the access of the upgraded models, because they don't want to just give you free shit forever. And then I look at the last version, the $100 a month version. This is genius. Hear me out. You get YouTube Premium ad free with $100. So yeah, you buy Gemini $100 a month. YouTube Premium comes included. That's genius to me, bro.
We close OpenAI. Our family doesn't have it anymore.
Oh, we don't
We are
talk about
all
Sam in
on
our
shopping.
family. We don't
Jeez.
talk about Sam.
Well, that's funny because
Of GPT?
yeah,
Oh,
GPT
Claude
5.5.
Damn. Okay.
It's good. It's good for me, man.
I'm hearing coding's wild like crazy.
Dude, the stuff you can do, it's really good. Like I hook it up to use the API. It's really a good. I mean, I built some. Okay, this site that I built, that I posted here the other day.
Yep.
That's
With the
all built
iceberg?
on 5.
Iceberg, right? Iceberg.
Iceberg, yeah.
That's
and all the
interesting because I really thought it was Claude, bro. I thought it was kind of mimicking the design, but okay.
No, all the images were created with well, I used banana. Did I use banana? No, I used it was GPT 5.5. All the images were generated in there.
Wow.
Did an amazing job, and then it did the video. Well, who did the video?
You just gave me
It
an
was
idea.
Gemini that did the video.
So at the end, I did nothing but took in your money.
They took my money, and I'm happy. I got a lot of stuff done this week, so
Yeah, it's good.
and I got Hermes.
No, in fact, yesterday, Claude let me down. I had to go to. No, it's true. There were two silly problems. We went in circles for like 3 hours. My God! And at a certain point, I took the thing. I went to Gemini. I said, "Solve the problem." Boom, solved instantly. Copy the solution. Went back to the closer. Yes, that's how to do it.
It's like
okay. I should give to the API for for Gemini. Go to Gemini.
That's another thing is of my finalized work, I have to take it to another AI, and it'll still tell you what's wrong with it. Even if you have the best AI, you should probably consult with another AI.
Yeah,
So
I
stupid.
do always like this. But Gemini is fantastic when you have a specific problem, boom, solves it instantly. Like it's refreshing. It's not good to work in long term. At least they change something. But registering domain names.
Oh, no, I haven't I purchased one domain to the other day. I saw this video about government contracts with sam.org, and it fired up my brain because it's like there's an opportunity. I mean, to me, it felt like there's all these like government contracts in there that you can search and find and bid and all that stuff. And I was like, okay, that's interesting.
Are you registered with Sam and Kate?
I'm about to.
You have an American passport.
Yes.
That's the only limitation. Those cage numbers, sam.gov number, all that. But it's still not easy. Yeah, it's just I gave up because I realized like the internet kind of oversells how easy it is to get government contracts, but you also have to just really be perfect for this position,
But here's the thing, the reason I got Hermes is because I wanted her to handle doing the research, doing the contracts, like finding all this information for me and then delivering me projects I could bid for. And that's the whole point of me getting Hermes.
That's a good point. That's a good one. I'm gonna look into that. Write that down, actually.
Dude, once I launch, I'll send you the link to the site. So I created a site. I created an LLC. Here's what I did. I said I want an LLC that's not available, but I also want to get the URL at the same time. So I had it search, and it found me an interesting name, and I got it. And I started the process, and then created a website that's like government facing. So basically, it speaks to government contracting, all the language, everything, like from top to bottom. I went back and forth like you guys did. Like I used Claude to start the process, and I used Gemini. Anti-gravity in 5.5 to actually build the stuff, and I go back and forth. It's really like fascinating stuff.
I always recommend to people to do market research about their own city that they're in, and you'd be surprised about the blind spots where you're like, oh, there's a demand for like some medical delivery, some bullshit, something random that you don't even know about.
It's incredible. I think it's a great opportunity. I mean, so back to the we're losing our jobs kind of thing. If you think about it, it's creating different opportunities. So if your eyes are open, if your life is half full, then the jobs are being taken by AI. If you're half full, then it's like this opportunity to do all kinds of things using AI tools.
The job loss is not for people like us that every day need to invent how to make the next money. Job loss is for the employee that go to an office every day, and then when they are being booted out because Hermes is working in place of them.
It's all the kids that went to school and got straight A's and B's.
Random question.
Yeah, because they complied to the school system, yes, not because they were smarter.
Are you saying that more like smarter jobs, college-educated jobs, are going to be taken first by AI? It's the blue collar that won't be?
I mean, entry jobs are getting taken up. I mean, things that the AI could do.
Which is scary because nobody will going to become senior. If
you get rid of all the junior development roles and or executive or anyone like that.
How do how do you I mean that's actually a sad thing is how do internships you're able to get a new person, teach them stuff, they learn from somebody who's senior, like that whole process of like transferring
Right.
knowledge and wisdom and all those things that has been disrupted by AI,
It makes me
right?
think the evolution of the resume is going to be different. It'll be more about like, well, how many places have you worked at and how credible is each company, as opposed to how long have you spent at one place. It's not going to be as relevant. Hopefully those companies are more understanding where they're like, oh, we see this all the time. Nobody spends more than a few years anywhere anymore. So all your qualified experience adds up to a senior position. I don't know. I'm just guessing.
You know what the new thing to put on the resume is going to be? I'm predicting it's going to be your token usage.
Wow.
They're going to judge you by your token use. I mean, some
Do,
companies they're doing
do
that,
you
right? They're like, hey,
consent to us to have your data from your AI? Shit. No.
if you're not using tokens, are you even busy? So some companies are doing that. I've heard articles where like they're expected to like burn through so many tokens, because they're doing something, And if you're not, that means what are you actually doing?
Imagine they're like, Costas, you seem to ask a lot of dumb questions on your AI. Is anything wrong with you?
Right. There was this thing about the guy that really were just doing nothing on AI just to consume token for no reason.
It's like
I
never
wrote
getting
this.
work done. It's just like shit you could Google that you don't want to Google.
I don't
That's
think there's dumb
hilarious.
questions though. I feel like that's where deeper understanding happens.
Yeah.
You're like,
Did anybody
what
try
sports
to
games
tell
are
the
tonight?
AI, ask yourself a question and answer it? So you give all the job to the AI.
Oh, dude, I simulate questions like that all the time because I actually use AI as a brainstorm. So I'll be like, what questions have I not asked or thought about? Simulate those answers, and then it goes off, and I haven't even thought about any of these. So yeah, I like the
For
simulations.
brainstorm, I use Grok
Grok.
Companion.
Just tell me you use a little hentai girl to talk dirty to you, Roberto. Come on.
That's exactly the trigger that makes my idea come out.
It does great spicy videos, that's for sure.
Wow.
If you
And
go
she'll
down that
talk
path.
dirty to me. That's funny.
Even that's being taken by AI now. Now there's not a
Exactly.
real hentai.
Before was the secretary that goes under the table, and now AI.
I don't
Tries
even
to
think
meet up with her.
I don't think blue collar jobs will be safe though. I mean, we have automated lawnmowers, right? Cleaning equipment, window washers. A lot of those are becoming automated. But you're
Drones to
right.
collect fruit from the tree, I saw too.
Yeah,
I saw this video of a robot like crawling up the side of a ship doing something. I think it was either welding or
Please be
cleaning or
AI. Please
painting or
be AI.
something. It was just doing its thing. Like welding is like I've seen robots that weld like like they do these like I mean unbelievable like weld jobs. Like especially like here's the tricky part. Like welding around a circle is really hard thing to do.
Send him
You
in
know,
the ocean, bottom of the ocean
dude,
now.
it does a robot. It just done, bro, done. Consistent underwater jobs. That's a crazy job. Underwater welding, they make money, bro.
Still scary as hell though.
Sure is.
Other crazy one is Apple and Google, their partnership. I know we already kind of talked about this, but here's my question. Are they going well, Roberto's not even here for this one. I was gonna say, are they gonna make us buy the new iPhone just to get all these new features, or are they just gonna put it in the iPhone upgrade? Because you know how they dropped that laptop with M1 and they're like, there's no AI unless you buy a new laptop. Are they gonna do that with the next iPhone if it's really that advanced to force
Well,
you
you
to
can't.
upgrade?
Well, you can't upgrade. It's in the hardware, isn't it?
What do you mean? Oh yeah.
Well,
That's what I'm saying. Is you have to buy the new product to have access to it. Roberto, did you hear that? Did you hear us? You over here giving kisses away again? I had to get up to kiss my wife.
by the way, I have the record for not leaving my camera once.
Shit, I did it today for the first time. Roberto, I was saying, do you think the new iPhone with the new AI, they're gonna make us purchase it to upgrade, or is it gonna be in the next downloadable update?
This is something you can do also in an old iPhone. You can add the AI very easy. But if there are chips that make better model run, why not? Depends on the person.
Right.
I think the new operating system are gonna come out with AI embedded in, not to the level of the movie, but there's gonna be more and more things that use local models just to do better stuff.
What about the fact that U.S. and tech firms have stricken a deal to review AI models for national security before public release. That's kind of concerning.
Now that you're talking about Anthropic with the new model that has been given to several companies before they're open to the public. It's because the danger in this model is not that they hypnotize you and they make, a swarm of hypnotized people that go on the street. I think the danger of this model is that they are very good in coding. So when they review code, they can find 0 days, they can find things for performing an attack and things like that. And if people don't first fix those problems, then you're gonna have so you're giving a weapon in the hand of people. So if I have something that can break into the Italian government because it can see vulnerability that nobody been able to see before, you want them to fix their vulnerability first, then you give the model to me. And
to summarize the big picture shift this week, if you zoom out, the pattern's pretty simple. Apple catching up fast, betting on ecosystem AI. Google turning search into an AI operating system. Meta restructuring everything around AI agents. Governments starting to regulate before it gets out of control. And hardware getting more expensive because AI is eating supply chains. Basically, AI isn't a feature anymore. It's the entire operating system of technology right now.
I say something. I think that isolating China from all the manufacturing of specific chips is going to create, and this is happening, on internal production of very good high quality chips that are going to leak around the world and render isolated those that wanted to isolate them first. So there will be some very powerful model, much cheaper hardware that is going to run amazing for those that dare.
Gonna go straight to Iran first and sell them the newest chips.
That's how you do it, meaning that when you create a wall, then you stay on the side of the wall that you are and you do the market there. So you find the resources, you create the offer. So the day that you discovered that NVIDIA, or NVIDIA as you call it, is costing 10 times more than somebody else that has something much cheaper to work better, then you can make it illegal. What to do?
Could you imagine that the actual fear for the US is, of course, these countries developing technology fast, but the fact that they have to decide what to release to the public at the same time, because they have hidden technologies, things that they've already worked on light years and way ahead, but they're like, shit, somebody just cut the gap again another 10 years. Now we're forced to release the technology.
So you see, Chinese efforts to build a nearly complete domestic AI chip supply chain with design like Huawei Ascend 950 series will a slightly less powerful but fully local AI stack be good enough to neutralize a US export restriction. And here it says less powerful, but who knows, maybe even more powerful actually, given the past evidence that Chinese scaling edge production optimizing for efficiency under export control. That is constraint-driven innovation we see in China suggests that aggressive sanctions could actually sharpen their AI capability, which I think is the case. More you leave me alone with my tools, better I can become, and if you keep me dependent on your things, I don't evolve. If you don't let me use your thing, I make mine better.
Wow, you just made me wonder. Wait for those AI robots that are just like Hermes. You let them out into the world and they're just getting smarter as they proceed in the world. It's a matter of time. Any other final thoughts here? I think we're running on the 2 hours before Chris starts flashing his signal lights.
Exactly. Don't do that.
Bye.
Right on time.
Okay.
I got nothing.
And
Another good chat. Appreciate
I
you guys.
have nothing but dumb stories left, so it might not even be worth it. One's about a kangaroo, one's about an anteater, but we don't have to go through that.
No. I'm fading too. I'm fading.
Exactly.
Black me out. Wow.
And this is not done. This is a shutter in front of my camera. So there is no electronics involved in the shutter. So we are all Christified.
That's a good one.
It's like the end.
Thank you for Chris for not blanking out the past 2 hours and 1 minute and 51 seconds. And thanks to the edit system that automatically removes silent moments because